everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Anisha, and my edX username is capital A small NISHA underscore ANISHA. My GitHub username is Anisha23. This video is being recorded on the date 13 February 2025. For the final project, I have chosen to discuss the British Library Ransomware Attack that took place in the late 2023. This attack serves an important example of a significant cybersecurity breach that impacted not only a prestigious institution but also individuals whose personal data was compromised. I selected this topic because it indirectly relates to the key themes covered in this course, particularly the importance of data protection, network security, and the consequences of inadequate cybersecurity practices. Throughout this presentation, I'll walk you through the details of attack, weaknesses that led to it, and provide recommendations on how similar incidents can be prevented in future. To start, let's dive into the details of British Library ransomware attack. In October 2023, the British Library suffered a ransomware attack that compromised a large amount of sensitive data. The attackers were able to gain access to the library's internal network and demanded a ransom in Bitcoin, threatening to release the stolen data unless their demands were met. The hackers successfully exfiltrated over 600 GB of data, including private user information, library records, and historical documents. The data breach not only disrupted library services but also led to financial losses of approximately $6 to $7 million. The attackers threatened to publish the stolen data on dark web forums, further intensifying the impact of breach. Fortunately, the library was able to prevent the public release of this data, but the attack highlighted significant vulnerabilities of the cybersecurity infrastructure. Now let's look at the attack methodology used in this incident. The attackers employed a multi-step approach to gain unauthorized access to the library system. Initially, they infiltrated the library's network using a phishing email, which contained a malicious link. This type of attack is a common entry point for ransomware groups. Once the attackers gained access to the network, they were able to escalate their privileges, giving them broader control over the internal systems. After securing administrative access, the attackers exfiltrated sensitive data by transferring it to remote servers controlled by them. This process is involved in the use of command and control servers, which allowed the attackers to covertly move the stolen data. Finally, they encrypted key files on the library system to render the unusual, demanding a ransom payment for the description keys. This type of ransomware attack is sophisticated and demonstrates how attackers exploit vulnerabilities, particularly when the system lacks the necessary defenses like multi-factor authentication (MFA) or adequate network segmentation. The consequences of the British Library ransomware attack were far-reaching. First, the breach resulted in significant financial losses, with an estimated 6-7 billion in recovery and remediation costs. This includes expenses related to restoring the library's system, implementing stronger cybersecurity measures, and compensating users who were affected by the data breach. In addition to financial losses, the library services were disrupted for several months. Patrons were unable to access digital archives, and the library's online resources were temporarily suspended. This not only affected users globally, but also damaged the institution's reputation, which is crucial for a public library that relies on user trust. Most importantly, the breach exposed sensitive data, including personal information from library members, staff records, and private research documents. Although the library managed to prevent the data from being publicly released, the threat alone was enough to severely undermine public confidence in their ability to protect user data. Now let's examine the key failures that allowed the attack to succeed. First, lack of multi-factor authentication (MFA). One of the primary reasons the attackers were able to gain access of the library system was the absence of multi-factor authentication. MFA acts as an additional layer of security, making it much harder for the attackers to gain unauthorized access even if they manage to obtain login credentials. Inadequate network segmentation. The library's internal network lacked proper segmentation, meaning that once the attackers breached one part of the system, they were able to move laterally across the entire network. Proper segmentation could have contained the attack and prevented future compromise. Failure to secure backups. Another significant failure was libraries' inadequate backup practices. When dealing with ransomware, having a secure encrypted backups that are isolated from the main network is crucial. The attackers were able to compromise crucial data and had the library maintain off-site backups. The threat of permanent data loss could have been mitigated. To prevent incidents like this, I have developed a set of recommendations that could help the other organizations strengthen their cybersecurity defenses. First, implement multi-factor authentication (MFA). This is one of the most effective ways to prevent unauthorized access by requiring users to verify their identity through multiple methods, such as password, a fingerprint, or an authentication app. Organizations can significantly reduce the chances of a breach. Enhance network segmentation. Network segmentation is critical for limiting the lateral movement of attackers by dividing the network into smaller segments. Organizations can contain breaches and prevent attackers from accessing critical system and data. Regularly secure and test backups. It is essential for organizations to maintain encrypted backups that are stored off-site or in an isolated environment. These backups should be regularly tested to ensure they can be restored quickly in case of a ransomware attack or other cybersecurity incident. Employee training. Educating employees about phishing attacks and other common cybersecurity threats can greatly reduce the likelihood of successful attacks. Regular training and awareness campaigns are vital in building a security conscious culture within an organization. In conclusion, the British Library ransomware attack serves as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that exist in many organizations today. While the library took steps to recover from the breach, the incident demonstrated the importance of implementing strong cybersecurity measures such as multi-factor authentication, proper network segmentation, and secure backup practices. By learning from these failures and adopting robust cybersecurity strategies, organizations can better protect themselves from the future attacks. Thank you for your time, and I hope this presentation has provided valuable insights into the real-world consequences of a cybersecurity failure and the steps that can be taken to avoid similar incidents in the future. If you would like to learn more about this case or other topics discussed, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is displayed on the first slide, and I am happy to provide further resources and insights. Again, thank you for watching and stay safe in the digital world.